Welcome everyone to our discussion today. I'm Sarah Chen. We are asking a question that many people think about in our modern world. Are we becoming too dependent on technology? Think about your day. How often do you use your phone, your computer, or other devices? Technology helps us in many ways, but sometimes we wonder if we use it too much. Is this dependence good or bad for us? Today, we have two guests to share their different views on this interesting topic. First, we have Mark Johnson. Mark believes technology is mostly a positive force in our lives. Welcome, Mark. And we also have Elena Petrova. Elena has some concerns about how much we rely on technology. Welcome, Elena. We want to have a balanced conversation, looking at both the good sides and the possible problems. Let's start with opening thoughts. Mark, would you like to begin and share your perspective?
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I believe technology is a fantastic tool that makes our lives significantly better. It's not really about dependence in a negative way, but more about using smart tools to improve how we live and work. Let's think about efficiency first. Technology saves us so much time and effort every single day. Instead of going to the bank for simple things, we can do online banking in minutes from home. That saves travel time and waiting time. Think about online shopping. We can buy almost anything we need without leaving our house, and it often arrives the next day. This is very convenient, especially for busy people or those who cannot travel easily. GPS navigation is another great example. Getting lost used to be common, but now our phones guide us directly to our destination. This reduces stress and saves fuel. Then there's connection. Some people worry technology separates us, but I see it connecting us in amazing ways. I can have video calls with my family who live in another country. It feels like they are in the room with me. That wasn't possible years ago. Social media helps me stay in touch with old friends and see what they are doing. It helps maintain relationships over long distances. We can also find communities online with people who share our hobbies or interests, people we might never meet otherwise. And finally, access to information. The internet is like a giant library, available anytime, anywhere. If I want to learn about history, fix something in my house, or understand a health issue, I can find information instantly. Online courses allow us to learn new skills easily, and often for free or at a low cost. This helps personal growth and career development. Some call this dependence. I call it progress. We depend on electricity, on cars, on glasses if we need them. Technology is just another set of tools. The important thing is to use these tools wisely, to make our lives richer and more efficient, not to fear them. It's about smart integration, not negative dependence.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Mark. I agree that technology offers many conveniences, Mark. It certainly can be useful. However, I am concerned about the level of our reliance. I worry we might be losing something important along the way. My first concern is about social interaction. Yes, we can connect online, but is it the same as talking face-to-face? I often see families in restaurants where everyone is looking at their phone instead of talking to each other. That makes me feel sad. Spending too much time online might weaken our ability to understand body language or have deep, meaningful conversations in person. It can sometimes lead to feelings of loneliness, even when we are technically connected. My second point is about losing basic skills. We rely so much on technology that we might forget how to do things ourselves. For example, many people don't remember phone numbers anymore because they are stored in their phones. What happens if your phone battery dies? Calculators are everywhere, so maybe basic math skills get weaker. And as Mark mentioned GPS, it's helpful. But can people still read a map or navigate using street signs if needed? Are we losing our natural sense of direction? Then there are the health concerns. Staring at screens for hours can cause eye strain, headaches, and problems sleeping, especially if we use devices before bed. Also, using technology often means sitting down for long periods. This lack of physical activity is not good for our bodies. We need to move more. Finally, I worry about mental well-being. Social media can create pressure to seem perfect and can lead to comparing ourselves negatively with others. The constant flow of information, news alerts, and messages can feel overwhelming and stressful. It's hard to switch off and just relax. So while technology has benefits, I believe we need to be much more careful about how much we use it and be aware of the potential downsides. It's about finding a balance before the negative effects become too big.
Thank you both for those clear opening statements. Mark, Elena raised a strong point about social isolation. She described seeing families disconnected, even when together. How do you respond to the idea that technology, despite connecting us online, might be making us lonelier in the real world?
That's a valid concern, Sarah, and I understand where Elena is coming from. Seeing people on phones instead of talking can be disappointing. However, I think it's not the technology itself, but how people choose to use it. Technology offers new ways to connect, not necessarily replace old ways entirely. For people who are shy, or live far away, or have niche interests, online communities can be incredibly important for finding connection and reducing loneliness. Think about support groups online for specific health conditions, for example. The key is balance. We need to be mindful and put the phone away during dinner or when spending quality time with loved ones. It's about personal responsibility.
Elena, what are your thoughts on Mark's point about personal responsibility and finding that balance? Is it realistic to expect everyone to manage this well?
I hope people can manage it, but I think it's harder than it sounds. These technologies are designed to be engaging, even addictive. Notifications constantly pull our attention. Social media algorithms show us things to keep us scrolling. It takes a lot of effort to resist that pull. While online groups can be helpful, I still worry that it changes the quality of our interactions. Real human connection involves more than just text or even video. It involves presence, shared space, and subtle communication cues that are often lost online.
Let's switch focus slightly. Elena, Mark emphasized the efficiency benefits, saving time with online banking, shopping, navigation. Isn't this a huge advantage, freeing up time for things we enjoy, like hobbies or spending time with family?
It definitely saves time on certain tasks, I agree. Online banking is easier than queuing, that's true. But my question is, what do we do with that saved time? Do we really use it for hobbies or family? Or does the efficiency just create pressure to do more work, answer more emails, be available 24/7? Sometimes I feel that technology hasn't given us more free time. It has just filled our time differently, often with more digital tasks or expectations. The line between work and personal life becomes blurry.
I think that depends on the person and the workplace culture, Elena. Technology gives us the option to be more flexible. For example, working from home saves commute time, which can be used for family or personal interests. The tool itself provides potential. How we use that potential is up to us and our employers. We need to set boundaries.
Let's explore another area: learning and thinking. Mark mentioned easy access to information. Elena expressed concern about losing skills. How does this constant access to information affect how we learn and think? Mark, does it make us smarter or perhaps lazier thinkers?
I believe it makes information more democratic and accessible. Anyone can learn about almost anything. That's incredibly powerful for education and personal development. It allows us to quickly check facts, explore different perspectives, and find resources we wouldn't have found in a traditional library. It supports lifelong learning. Of course, we need to learn how to evaluate information critically, to know what is reliable and what isn't. That's a skill we need to teach. But the access itself is a huge benefit. It encourages curiosity.
Elena, what are your concerns about how easy information access affects our thinking?
My worry is that it encourages surface-level understanding. We find quick answers on Google, but do we really think deeply about the topic? Do we remember the information, or do we just know where to find it again? It might make us less patient with complex problems that require sustained focus and critical thinking. If the answer isn't immediate, maybe we give up too easily. Also, the constant distraction from notifications makes it harder to concentrate for long periods, which is necessary for deep learning and creative thinking. And as Mark mentioned, finding reliable information amongst all the noise and fake news is a real challenge.
It seems clear there are strong arguments on both sides. We've discussed efficiency, connection, skills, and learning. It seems you both agree that finding a balance is important. So let's talk practical advice. Mark, what simple steps can people take to use technology positively without becoming overly dependent?
Firstly, be mindful of your usage. Use apps or phone settings to track how much time you spend on certain apps. Awareness is the first step. Secondly, set specific goals for technology use. Use it as a tool to achieve something, not just to pass time. For example, use language apps for learning, or fitness trackers for health goals. Thirdly, designate tech-free times or zones. Maybe no phones at the dinner table, or no screens an hour before bed. This helps create boundaries. Be intentional about when and why you pick up your device.
Elena, what practical advice would you add for finding that healthy balance?
I agree with Mark's suggestions. I would add, prioritize real-world activities. Make time for hobbies that don't involve screens, like sports, reading physical books, gardening, or meeting friends for coffee. Consciously schedule face-to-face interactions. Don't just rely on text messages. Call people or arrange to meet them. Nurture your offline relationships. And perhaps try a digital detox sometimes, a day, or even a weekend with minimal technology use to reconnect with yourself and the world around you. It can be very refreshing.
To summarize my view, technology is fundamentally a powerful force for good in our world. It's a collection of tools that help us live more efficiently, stay connected across distances, and access a universe of knowledge. We've discussed the benefits: saving time, maintaining relationships, learning new things. These are real improvements to our quality of life. Yes, there are challenges, like managing distractions, or ensuring we maintain real-world connections. But these are issues of how we use the tools, not flaws in the tools themselves. The answer isn't to reject technology, but to embrace it mindfully and purposefully. We need to learn to control it, rather than letting it control us. Let's focus on using technology to enhance our lives, solve problems, and build a better future, while consciously managing its place in our daily routines.
In closing, while I recognize the conveniences technology offers, my main message is one of caution and awareness. Overdependence carries genuine risks that we should not ignore. We've talked about the potential for social isolation, despite online connections, the possible loss of important practical and cognitive skills, and the negative impacts on our physical and mental health from excessive screen time. These aren't small issues. They affect our well-being and the quality of our lives and relationships. Efficiency is good, but not if the price is our health or meaningful human connection. Therefore, we need to be proactive in setting limits. We must consciously choose to prioritize real-world experiences, face-to-face interactions, and activities that nourish our minds and bodies away from screens. Let's use technology as a helpful servant, but never allow it to become our master. Let's stay in control and remember what truly matters.
Thank you, Mark Johnson and Elena Petrova, for sharing your thoughtful perspectives in this important discussion. It's clear that technology offers incredible advantages, but like any powerful tool, it requires careful handling and balance to avoid potential problems. We hope this conversation has given our audience some food for thought about their own relationship with technology. Thank you all for joining us today.